types of architectures we have. How many types of we having? So what exactly DBMS architecture? What it meant by DBMS architecture? Means we should have some architecture. Means how we are going to be working on that. Okay. So in this particular DBMS architecture, we having three things that we have. Okay. So database architecture. The architecture of the database system is a so it will be going to be given overall information about that. What is known as a client server? What is meant by centralized system? So here we having a different procedures we're going to have. So you please note it down there. There's in a DBMS architecture, we have three types of we have. One type, just note it down. In a DBMS architecture, we having one type, one type, one tier architecture, two tier architecture, one tier architecture, two tier architecture, and three tier architecture. How many we having? There's a three things we have here. Okay. So the name itself saying that one tier. What it means one tier architecture involves putting all the requirement components for a software application or a technology and a single server. Means you need a some server, you need a one user, you need a database. So there are three things we have. Okay, like you having a server have to be done there. Okay, you have to have a server, you have a user, everything will be installed in only one damn good system. Everything existing in that system only. Like you've seen that some of the small kirana stores you when you're going there, the system itself having a database, system itself having a payment system itself having everything. So if you want to do anything, you have to do it that only that particular system. Other than that, you can't do anything. So in a one tier, so everything like application or interface or middleware, whatever may be, even backend data, everything will be installed in one damn good system. Got it? Means server is there, database is there, user is there. Everyone will be installing in one single system. So that's one best example we have in MS Excel or MS Access, whatever may be. So you having MS Excel, right? You've seen the MS Excel, right? So if you want to see any of the information, you can access in the particular system only. It is not possible due to access on somewhere. So the server, database, and your user, everything will be installing in the same system. Then it's a restricted model, totally. One time said totally restricted model. So if you want to see any of the data, what happens there? You have to sit on the same system, how to access the work on the same system only, you can get the information. Other than that, you can't access any other system. There is no client, there is no server is there here in one tier. So this is the one tier architecture is very limited these days we are using. Very limited we have. Okay. Can you note down this diagram once? So and make sure that the point is very simple. All required components for a software application are you need a software application and we need a database, you need a server, all together whatever components are required for that, everything will be keeping in one system. That is we can call them as a one tier architecture. The best example for this, so you can take like MS Word, Excel, or anything. So simple, I can say that your personal PC or your laptop, whatever may be. So that is the one tier architecture you have, right? So then what about the two tier? What is the two tier architecture we have? Okay, a two tier architecture is like a client server application. The direct communication take the place between the client and server. Okay, so I can say that this is a client. Client meant I can say that user, or I can say that end user. Got it? Here I have one client and I'm having one server. Okay, so just like a one server we have. Now what to do? So I need some information. Every day you're working in attendance, right? You're working in attendance. Am I clear? So when you're working in attendance, what you are doing, you are the spoke who may be logging that. I can say that is a client for you. Okay. So what you people are doing directly, you're connecting to the this particular server. Like we given something IP like a 61.1.141.171. Okay, something we've given that. So as a client, what you're doing, you connected directly to the server and accessing information, and you're working on that. Am I clear? Now, what is the advantage between the two-tier application with the one-tier? Two-tier, what is happening? The server is separate. Server is separate. Means client can be n number of clients. Client can be n number of clients. More than one client can connect to the servers and can able to access the data. Am I clear? The client which I'm talking here, it can be more than one in two tier. Okay, but he can directly connect to the server and access the information and get the information. Means if you want to see the want to insert the attendance, you can able to insert that. Or if you want to see the summaries of attendance, whatever may be reports or whatever may be, you can get that. Means you can access anything from your server. Whether you want to inserting the data, retrieving data, you can do that, right? So can please understood that what the difference between one tier and two tier. You can understood the application program works on the client machine. It can be any language like a Java, Python, anything. It's not needed. Whatever the application was built on that. Simply, you need a system and you need IP. Just connect that and work on it. But when I'm talking about the server, on a server side, all processing takes place, including everything, validations, everything. This will be take care of everything. This will be going to take care of everything. Client as a client, you need to worry about that. Only thing, and the somebody's working on server. Who's going to working on that? Most of you don't know that. Maybe you're working different panels, class work we're working, and there are JVD working, and we're working on different things. But how the work is going, and did anybody knows that? What type of programming they are using, how they are working, and that what type of algorithms they're using, how the data is going to getting for you. Did anybody have any idea about that? So as a client, okay, client don't want to know any of the programming world. How the programming is built, all those things, you don't need to know anything about that. Only thing client have to know that just connect to the server and get that. Now you tell me. So is it advantages of comparing to the one tier or not? One tier ki two tier can advantage unda le? Unda? Sure. But I can say that I'm seeing that as on my side, I'm seeing that there are a lot of drawbacks are there. Simply, I'm getting here, I'm connecting to a directly server, means I'm directly accessing a server data kada. So if I'm a third party person, if I want to modify anything here, I can kada. Ane kada. So my readiness mirror every day putting that. Are you working on something else? If you want to give the false information, you can. I'm right or wrong? Because you are directly accessing. You're working on that. There is no authentication, nothing is there. Suppose I'm going to ask you, you having your Gmail account, right? You're having a Gmail account, right? Yes or no? You having a Facebook, kada? Anna? Is there any authentication is there for you or not? Or simply just clicking on gmail.com. Are you connecting a Gmail? No, kada? So you have to enter your username and password, right? Unless until you need have to enter username and password, you are not going to connect to the DBMS, right? So that's what the third model. So before going to the third model, please note it down advantage of this two-tier. Please note down advantage of two-tier. Fast communication, easy to manage. Fast communication and easy to manage. But disadvantages, as I'm saying that scalability and the security problems. Security problem is there because we are connecting directly. What we are doing? We are connecting directly to the server. Client will going to be connecting to the direct to the server. Means he can access all type of data. There is no other people middle with you between your server and the client. Nothing is there. So you are directly accessing your database, main database. Got my point? If somebody is going to allow you accessing your main database, then that will be going to be having a problem. Okay. So that is the reason I'm saying that the security problem is there. Why? Because I can't give my data. Other number is there. Somebody is going to ask you just entering your name and phone number without having any information. Can I give all the other information to you? The client server is like that. Got it, my point? What I'm talking? So what we are doing when you want to access any of the other information, there's a OTP, something is there, middle application is there. Okay, that will call them as a three-tier application. We'll see that. So advantage is a fast communication and it is easy to manage because number of clients can able to connect to the server and simultaneously, concurrently, you can able to access the data. But whereas when the client is directly connecting to the server, when client is going to connecting to the server, then that means you are accessing main database without having any protection is there. Is there any protection is there? No, no protection is there. You're just simply accessing the data. Then you have a security problem is there, unscalability problem is there. Okay. Then what is this? In college, universities, the campus houses, most of the area we're going to use the two-tier architecture only. We are going to use two-tier architecture. We are going to use that. And one tier, I say that the small kirana stores or some single user, only single user, that fellow have one system, one dabba with him, and he can able to install the software that we can call them with the product-based applications. What do we call them? Product-based application. You've seen that small separate. I seen that in Karnangar, the Raj Bazaar is there. So that will not be connected with any of the networks there. There is no other people are there. No, there is no other shops were there. Only in that particular system. So you having one server, user, application, software, everything will be installing that. That is the one tier. I'm saying that again repeatedly. One tier is a restricted model, and it will going to be useful for small, very small applications. Then this is the third three tier. Now you've seen that two tier and a three tier. Here we having one. What is we having? Application server. Now what I'm doing, if I want to reach main server, if I want to reach from client to my DBMS server, I have to gone through my application server. What is this application server? It's a web server. If you want to access your Gmail account, if you want to access your Gmail account, what you are doing when your client want to access that, you having application server like a Gmail username account password is there. So once you given a valid username and password, if a username and password is correct when you're going to clicking on login button, then only you can able to access that. You can see your inbox, server, everything. Unless until you're not giving any username, valid username or password, you'll never get back to this particular server ki మనం connect అవ్వలేరు మీరు ఎప్పుడు. Got my point? You can go any with any of the application. You can take any application that belongs to three-tier application. You can take anyone. You can take anyone. You can take a Facebook or whatever. But WhatsApp is not a three-tier again. It's a two-tier again. Directly you are interacting. Okay. You can take Amazon. You can take Flipkart. Anyone. If you want to see any of the products, you need not to log in there. Yes or no? But if you want to purchase anything, if you want to buy, and if you want to give the payment, what need to do? You have to log in. There's a valid verification is there. Are you belongs to SRINIVAS or not? Are you belongs to Krishna or not? Is it your phone number or not? Are your payment is done correctly or not? Okay. So here what happened? There's a security problem is there in a two-tier architecture. Now you have overcome with the particular security issue in your three-tier. So whenever you having application in a middle way, so here there's a three levels we have. How many levels we have? We having it three levels. One is a client level and application and server database bottom. Okay, so you can please understand a three-tier architecture is a client server architecture in which the functional process is logic and data access computer. So everything will be restricted by this particular application server. You want to reach to the main server, you have to go through this. Okay, so that will overcome with a number of things. Even what happened, you know that sometimes what happens, there's a huge load is there. Huge load is there. So how to sort out the things? Like we've seen that IRCTC, Topcal tickets is there. So why they have split the timings for 10 o'clock for something like that and 11 o'clock for a third AC, something like why? Because then the huge people are coming to the accessing the same data at the same time. So you want to split the data. Okay. But here, when we having, you please understood the application programs works on client machine. It make it any language like PHP, Python, or whatever. You need not to worry about that in which technology, what language is using by your server. And you need not to worry about that. What is your application server? How are you going to access that? How are you going to do that? It's not at all needed. Just you need it. Okay. పర్సనల్ కంప్యూటర్ కానీ ల్యాప్టాప్ కానీ మొబైల్ కానీ ఎనీవే మనకి అంటే ఆ అప్లికేషన్ యాక్సెస్ చేయడానికి సంబంధించిన ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్ ఉండాలి. అర్థమైందా? అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీ దగ్గర ఈ వాంట్ యాక్సెస్ ఒక ఫేస్బుక్ యాప్, మీరు ఫేస్బుక్ ని యాక్సెస్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నారు. యూ అండర్స్టూడ్ వాట్ ఐమ్ జస్ట్ లిజన్. యాజ్ ఎ క్లయింట్, you want to work on, you want to access your Facebook details in your mobile, right? Then what to do? You need not to worry about that. The Facebook is built in which application, what language, how did that. Need not to worry about that. But what you need that, you need to install one Facebook app there. That is a part of client. Unless until you don't have the, you have to install a Facebook app in your mobile, or you have to open your browser and go to the facebook.com, something like the browser, the application able to log in there. Without these two, again, you can't access that. Am I clear? Without these two means you can't. Okay, that is the client, server, and application. Now, what is the role of application server here? It will be process everything. This fellow is going to take care everything. This fellow is going to take care everything. It's having a very, very vast role here. Why? Because if the person is not there, and you're going to see in that username passwords number of times, yes or no? So might be I'm saying that as a user, I know that Gmail is not going to be allowing like sp_Srinivas. Username is not at all there. You understood? sp_Srinivas username is not at all existing. But when I'm trying to log in, I am always giving that sp_Srinivas. If there is no application server, there is no application server like this, we having two-tier architecture. In two-tier also, we can able to prevent that. You have a username and password. There is no nothing like that. అలా లేకుండా ఉండదు, ఉంటుంది ఉన్నా సరే what is happening, whatever username password you are given here, whether it's a correct one or an invalid one, we don't know that. No validation is going to be happening. So what is going to be happening here, if I'm going to give you like a sp_Srinivas, something like a username, something like, which is a email ID is not existing, that type of format is not existing, and you given a password also. What happened here when you're giving that? So DBMS server la check chestu untundi, it will work and that is going to try to validate a username and password, whereas that type of username is not there. I'm right or not? So when coming to the three-tier, if you're giving anything other than your username format, simply says that invalid username. It will not be go to the DBMS. It's going to be connected. Never going to ask that. That we can call them with a JavaScript validation. What we call them? JavaScript validation. Just simply we can write a small program there. So when you're clicking on that, it says that it's going to alert you. In your username, there is no special character will be allowed. Please secure username. Or it will say that your username is invalid. Please check it. It never asks the database to check it out. Am I clear? It never asks your database to check it out there. Okay? So that is a very, very important. These are database architecture. How many types we having? There's three types: one tier, two tier, three tier. Okay, I'm clear about that. Again, data is stored and managed the database server. I'm not discussing about that. Why? Because already we've seen that. So here it will be storing a data and it will be managing everything. Okay, that's the main thing. Then what is this? So please note on the diagram here. So what happened here? There's a sub-schema is there, three-tier concept. Okay, so there's a view is there, and we're going to get here. Please note down this once. So these are the application programs are there, and there's the external